This is Courtney Gadd.
This is Matt King.
And you're listening to
The Bulldog Broadcast.
RES Edition.
Hey, this is Miss Thompson, and today I'm here with Gideon from 4th grade to read our first chapter for this Friday. We hope you enjoy.
Hi, I'm Gideon Portwood. Today I'm going to be reading Bye Forever, I Guess, by Jodi Meadows. Chapter 1, A Naughty Mouse, January 2nd. But I like being invisible, I said for the 800th time. I don't want everyone to know who I am, Rachel snorted. A delicate snort. Of course, not the embarrassing kind. She was incapable of doing anything embarrassing. No one likes being invisible, Ingrid, she said from the other side of the video call. It was the last day of winter break, and she was digging clothes out of her closet to throw onto the nearby chair. You're comfortable being invisible? That's not the same, considering I was in a blanket nest on my bed, where I was both comfortable and liking it. The two feelings seemed related. I'm serious. She pointed directly into the phone. Look, if you told everyone about Bye Forever, you'd be so popular they would see you from you. Honest people don't ever know your name right now. They refer to you as Rachel's friend. I swallowed hard. If you won't tell everyone, maybe I should. No, don't. Just the thought of it, it made me sweat. I could imagine the whole 8th grade getting a group text from Rachel, reading it right away because it was from Rachel Allen, and suddenly realizing that I had done something interesting. Even I won't, she sighed. You told me in confidence we're best friends, and best friends tell each other everything, so I'll take this secret to my grave, even though I believe you're wasting a naughty mouse. Just think about how cool you'd be if people know. More like think about how they had changed my name and moved to an undisclosed location. Attracting was nice this year of year, right? It's not that you're uncool. She pressed the knitting is cute, kind of quirky, and reading the thing isn't bad. Even if it's all fantasy, you should probably let go of that video game you like, but you wouldn't miss it. My heart sank, but I didn't argue. There was no point ever since I told her about the text message and about my secret account on Scroller and its surprise popularity. We had some variation of this talk about once a month. I could be cooler, more visible. The type of best friend Rachel really wanted. I have to go. Rachel stepped up to her phone. There's a thing for Junior Miss Deer Hill this afternoon. I still can't believe someone had nominated me. I'm just too busy, but I'll do it observably. I can't disappoint my fans. She winked. I snorted. It was the embarrassing kind of snort. She picked up her phone. Her room whooshed across the background, cream and yellow, perfectly tidy except for the pile of clothes. But first, if Ellie, Julia, Savannah Grace, and I were all drowning, who would you rescue first? How was I supposed to answer that? She sighed observably. You rescue me unless you're my best friend, but I am your best friend. Of course you are, I said quickly. Good. She smiled her pageant-winning smile. I'll see you tomorrow. You better look cute. I know you can. Then she ended the call. I slumped deeper into my blanket nest. That was exhausting. Only a second later, almost like she'd been lurking in the hall, Grandma knocked on my door frame. The door was open, but she always made a point to knock anyway. Everything okay? She asked. I heard Rachel's voice. I groaned and pulled a blanket over my head. It's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Very convincing. Grandma came in and sat down on my desk chair. Do you want to talk about it? No, I don't. No, mostly. I wish Rachel would have forgotten I'd ever told her about my secret. Ugh, my blanket was smothering me. I pushed it off my face and looked at the frame print out above my desk. It was much just a text message. But it is the text message. Unknown. Hey, Allie, it's me. Me. Hi, this isn't Allie, but I hope you get hold of her. Unknown. You're not Allie? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Me. Nope, sorry. Unknown. Wow, okay, bye forever, I guess. It was my first wrong number text, but it was far from the last. It was my favorite, though. The little phrase at the end, bye forever, I guess, was so motivated, so funny. Then last summer when Rachel started changing and asking weird questions, for example, if we were skydiving and her parachute didn't work, would I give her mine even if we were midair? I needed a distraction. So I want anyone who got a ton of strange texts. What do? I created an account on Scholar, and in honor of Alan's friend, I called my Scholar Bye Forever, I guess. At first, it was just a couple of posts a week, all my own. Screenshots of awkwardness no one paid attention to, but out of nowhere, one of the biggest, most popular schools ran a list of 27 accounts to make your day brighter. With mine in the number one slot, I went from dozy of followers to thousands, and then hundreds of thousands. I'd even started accepting submissions. I got opportunities, sponsor, and a tip jar that people actually used. And it also a super boring day when Grandma and I scrolled the dashboard and settings to make sure I was completely anonymous, followed by a lecture about privacy, security, and health online boundaries. The most surprising part was when school came back last fall. People were talking about my school. No one suspected I ran the whole thing. Why would they? But then at a sleepover, Rachel wanted to read through all the posts together and judge whether they were real, so I told her the truth. It was my school, and they were. I had my phone as proof. She never let it go. I scrubbed my hands over my face. It just feels like everyone conversed with Rachel and is a test, and my grades are getting worse. What do you want to do about it? Grandma asked. I don't know. My friendship with Rachel was familiar, but not quite right anymore. Did that mean I had to do something about it? Say something? What would happen if she got mad and pushed me out pushed me away. Grandma looked out the window and watched the birds as their feeders for a few minutes. Then she checked her watch and stood up well enough about Rachel. I actually came in to ask if you still wanted to go with me. Where are we going? I climbed out of my blanket cocoon. She narrowed her eyes. I knew you weren't listening earlier. I was. I racked my brain. Something about archery? No, something about casserole and cake. I wanted cake. Grandma laughed, and I shook her head. Get your coat on. They're expecting us in 10 minutes. After a mad dash around the house for my coat, scarf, hat, and other winter's assortment, I like to be warm, okay? I was sitting in the passenger seat, 2 glass containers on my lap, the cake and endlessly sniffing inside. The Archer family just moved here, Grandma said as she pulled onto Deer Hill's main road. It was considered the main road because it had 2 whole spotlights. John and Beth have kids your age. What grades? I wiggled my phone from my pocket and tapped into my messages. They're both in 8th, like you. Are they twins? No, just born less than a year apart. Grandma glanced at, who are you texting? Rachel. Are you required to keep her informed about new students? She gets mad if I don't tell her things. Is that fair? I shrugged. Grandma kept driving. Me, delivering food to a new family, both kids in our grade, not twins, though we'll update you as soon as I know. Rachel, tell me everything, or I'll assume you hate me. I cringed. Everything okay? Grandma asked, not taking her eyes off the road. Yeah, I looked out the window at the snowy mountain rolling along the horizon. Maybe things with Rachel would be better tomorrow with a fresh semester starting. We'd have classes to talk about, the new kids, her spring schedule, or maybe tomorrow would be the same as last semester, with all of our friends talking to Rachel talking about Rachel, and me sitting there listening because no one noticed me or warned if I had anything to say. My phone buzzed again, text coming in at lightning speed. And this time, the name that popped up made me smile. Lauren Wastone. Lauren didn't go to my school. She didn't even live in Virginia. Her family lived in Michigan, over 500 miles away. We'd never meet, though. Ancient Tomes Online, aka the video game, Rachel thought I should drop. And with permission from Lauren's parents and my grandmother, we traded numbers. It wasn't long before we were talking every day about our game. Of course, also about food, family, and books. When I told her about my favorite series, the Essel Lightborn Chronicles by P.J. Clarke, she read it and loved it too. When I told her about it, by forever I guess, before it was popular, the only thing she wanted out of it was a sneak peek at the misdirected text before they went on Scroller, which, as one of my favorite people, she was intimidated to receive and snort. Lauren was awesome, and the fact that they were so many miles between us should have be considered a crime. Lauren, what are you doing right now? There's a trailer for the new ATM expansion. Just dropped. I'm dying. I don't want to watch it without you, though. Me, trailer, will be there as soon as I can. As for what I'm doing, breathing, riding in a car, and holding cake that I cannot eat. Lauren, cake that you cannot eat? Torture, but okay. The trailer and I will wait for you. I have to go wrangle my sisters away to their chaos they are causing. Me, honestly, they should wrangle themselves. They're what? 7 and 8 in the wild? They're already being hunting small prey and leaving it on your doorstep. Lauren, you're thinking about cats. My sisters are allergic human. Me, all right. Well, good luck. The car slowed as Grandma turned onto the old farm road. The fields on either side blanked in shimmering white. Skeleton trees lined the way. Snow shivered on them with every gust of wind as we crept up to the barely plowed road. An old 2-story farmhouse appeared. The siding, for some reason, the color of an aging bananas. I could tell that the studders had once been as bright as lemons, but now I'm limiting pink was peering off the ribbons. As for the wrapped around the porch, harvesting gold. Wow, I breathed. That is a lot of yellow. No one has lived here for a while. Grandma parked in the driveway. The archers indicated the house as and land for someone distant cousins. How'd you know all of that already? One day you'll realize I know everything. Grandma opened her door. The rush of cold air made me shrink deeper into my coat like a turtle. I jerked my hat down over my ears. Then I climbed out, keeping a tight grip on the food containers. Hurry up, Grandma said from the porch, where she was already knocking. A mom-agreed woman pulled open the door and smiled. Joni Polel. Call me Joe, please, Grandma replied warmly. I like it. Was it granddaughter, Ingrid, aunt? How lovely to meet you. I'm Beth. Why don't you come in? She pushed open the screen door with gave a painful screech. Rip me, my drum. The inside of the house wasn't as the outside, but it wasn't in good shape either, with the faded wallpaper, dry hardwood floors, and ancient light fixtures. An electrical space heater chugged away in the corner of the living room, struggling to keep the cold outside where it belonged. In the kitchen, the food was taken and placed on an island. A man appeared in the passage to the dining room. Mr. Archer, presumably followed by a boy and a girl. Suddenly, the kitchen was very crowded. While Mr. Archer made instructions, the boy was Oliver and the girl was Alexis. The kids inspired me a while, and I inspired them, all of us trying to pretend we weren't. Both Alex and Oliver were taller than me, dilated by at the least a few inches, with brown hair and green eyes. Alexis had a soft, heart-shaped face, her eyelids and cheeks dusted with light makeup. Her hair was pulled into a bun, though a long cringe had escaped, and she wore jeans and fitted t-shirt with Matt Cummins logo. She looked casually but put together, some Rachel would like. Then there was Oliver. He had round glasses and he was lean, sharp, rather than soft, with heavy eyebrows, a handful of freckles. There was a toothpaste stain on his NASA t-shirt, and if he bothered to combo his hair this morning, it didn't show, but if it worked for him like it really worked, he smiled bright and easy at me. He was cute and he was smiling at me. It probably time to run. Nice to meet you, Ingrid, he said, and hollered at Hot Chocolate. He had a very nice voice. Nice to meet you too, I said, but no, I didn't say it. I wish pretend it, or just mouthed it, or I didn't actually do anything at all because Oliver expanded, expressed, faded into confusion. You probably have a few classes with Ingrid, Mr. Archer was telling them. Good to already have friends, huh? Mr. Archer added. Yeah, Alexis said in a way that suggested she didn't like being assigned friends. Mr. Archer waved us out of the kitchen. Why don't you two show Ingrid the house? Just watch out for the hallway that eats people, and the quicksand floor, and the course of the bathroom of doom. Alex cringed. Dad, don't try to be funny in the front of other people. I just wanted everyone to know where you get your sense of this humor, sweetie. She rolled her eyes and motioned for me to come with her. This way, Ingrid will protected you from the yellow beast. Well, Oliver he's a good like that. I try, Oliver offered another smile, just as good as the last one. Attention. I had no chance but to follow Alex and Oliver back into the living room. There weren't any family photos up yet, no artwork or decorations beyond a few rugs and new curtains. We just moved in a week ago, Oliver said when he noticed where I was looking. We can't unpack yet. The house needs a lot of work first. I gave a tiny nod. This was probably the point where I was supposed to ask, I like where did they move from and what kind of renovations were they planning? Or maybe I should have asked if they got in their class schedules. And I was curious. I don't want to know, but it's so hard to make words come out. A twisting, uneasy part of my wished Rachel were here. She knew how to talk to people. She was convinced in any social station. Come on, mouthed, saying something. We brought cake. Their words. I done it now, Oliver smiled. I was lube said and warm. I saw it on the counter, chocolate frosting, strawberries inside. Okay, I was doing it human instinct. Not so bad. My grandma is an excellent baker. I want cake right now, Alex groaned, but Mom and Dad are going to make us wait. I'll get us some. Oliver glanced back at the kitchen. We just wait until they decided to show Ingrid's grandmother the old stables. He looked magnificently at me. There was a debate about whether to restore them or remodel them into the workshop. I'm telling you now, don't have an opinion. It's not safe, Alex gave a little shudder. I actually feel bad for your grandmother. No one wanted her. Oh, she's going to have an opinion. She lives to have opinions. I lowered my voice. Maybe I should warn your parents. Alex snorted, then pointed towards a stairway in the hallway beyond Mom and Dad's room is back there. We're upstairs. Want to see? I nodded, slightly more convinced now that I managed the entire sentence, and I made Alex snort, laugh. Our rooms aren't done either, Alex said, but Dad and Ollie installed new floors and painted the walls so it's not as bad as downstairs. I glanced at Oliver. Ollie? He shook his head. Only Alexis calls me that. Got it. Upstairs held a narrow hallway, doors on either side. It was a very tight space. It really has either haunted house from dead relatives, horror movie vibes, Alex said, but far nothing too creepy has happened. I mean, it's awfully dark outside at night. No weird noises, though, aside from creaking, popping, and pipe gurgling. I laughed. Yeah, you won't know for sure until it's midnight, and your foot is hanging off the bed, and something grabs it. Haunting, easy to tell. I will not be doing scary science experiments, Alex announced with a sniff. I'd rather not know. Oliver shrugged. I'll try it if you hear me screaming tonight when it makes a hashtag out of you. I'll have 2 ghosts to deal with. Alexis shocked her head and pointed at every door and turned closet, bathroom, my bedroom, Ollie's bedroom, and guest bedroom. Eventually, right now, it's storage. Nice. Ollie let me have the biggest room. Alex pushed open the door, revealing a half-made bed and a tall dresser and few posters of science inference. I recognized a few faces from scroller videos, he says. It's because I am more stuff. The other room faces est, and you have more stuff. Alex ignored him. So is there anything interesting in Deer Hill besides Pointley living in a horror movie? Well, if you want to try living in a different kind of movie, there's almost trying not to get eaten by bears and mountain lions motion towards the mountains outside. Otherwise, there's a library, a coffee shop, a dance studio. We have 3 thrift and antique shops, and there's the nation's park. I shrugged. It's not a big town. Alex bit her lip and nodded. I noticed. You'll make friends here, Oliver softened his voice. You're good at making friends, and you have Ingrid now. He glanced at me, one eyebrow raised. Yeah, of course. Because what could I do but argue? And Alex did seem nice. I wouldn't mind being her friend. Alex's shoulders relaxed. I just miss everyone. I was about to do it. asked where they lived before, but the stairs creaked ominously. The ghost! Alex whispered, her eyes widened. But it's just my grandmother, Ingrid. Her voice echoed off the bare walls. Ready to go? Oliver looked hopefully between Alex and me. You could hang out if you want. My mom could take you home later. Hang out. Part of me wanted to stay and talk and them more. I man agreed. Okay, partially. I convinced I'd like them a lot, which meant I needed to quiet while I was ahead before I had a chance to mess things up. I'm ready to go. I offered Alex and Oliver a tight smile. It was nice to meet you. So, see you at school tomorrow. Alex expressed fell, and Oliver nodded. Yeah, he said, tomorrow. Before I could make things more uncomfortable, I hurried down the stairs with Grandma. We were out the door and in the car in no time. They seemed nice. Grandma started the engine, heated blast from the vents. Yay! Do you think they're friend material? Maybe. I looked at my phone. It had a bunch of messages, some from most for strangers. I bit my lip, tapped on the text from Rachel. Rachel, tell me everything. How are they? Are they cool? Me, yeah, they seem nice. Rachel, nicer than me? Or are you just being nice? Tell me everything. Ugh, I wish I hadn't said anything, so I swiped away.
All right, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed this week's First Chapter Friday. Bulldogs out.